Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my first Christmas video and it is also a Friend Friday hop, also a giveaway as well. I'm going to talk about this a little bit later. First, let's start with crafts. DIY number one. This is probably my favorite project. For this project, I took a board that I already had in my garage and I'm going to mark three different sizes. It's going to be 10 inches, 8 inches, and the 5 inches that's left over. And I'm going to cut that out with my miter saw. And this is how it looks like after I cut it. I also cut out 5 inches, two little pieces of wood that looks like painter sticks. And I'm going to sand all of them. I will sand edges and make sure they're nice and smooth. After that, I'm taking this Gorilla Wood glue together with my hot glue gun, and I will attach these together. And I'm just eyeballing it to make sure the top goes somewhere in the middle of the bottom wood piece. Then I'm going to leave this to dry. And after that, I'm going to take these two Arteza paints. They're acrylic paints, raw amber and burnt amber. First, I started with just the plain paint, but I realized it was too thick. So I added a little bit of water and I started wiping it off so it looks like a stain. And I really, really like how it turned out. I love the color. I like the effect that these two colors give. And I really, really think it turned out beautiful. After I was done painting the front, back, and the sides of it, and when it was dried, I took this gray acrylic paint by Arteza, I watered it down, and I went over my boards because I wanted it just a tiny little bit weathered. I really didn't like it to be completely brown. I'm doing exactly the same thing with these mini sticks. They're actually going to represent the roof. You will see it later. I'm going to leave all this to dry, and after that I'm starting to assemble my roof. I used only my hot glue gun and that was just enough. After all this was assembled, I went to my Cricut and I printed out. First, I printed out Nativity scene that's gonna go on a top block. And then I printed out Christmas that's gonna go on a middle block, and then begin with Christ. And that goes on a bottom. I peeled off the transfer tape, and then next I'm taking two little pieces of cardboard. I'm gluing them together, and then I'm taking this star that I actually printed out on my Cricut, and I'm gonna put it on top of this cardboard piece. And next I'm going to cut it out. The reason why I'm doing this is because that's gonna go on the top of the roof, and it needed some support, so I thought putting it on a cardboard would make it perfect, and I was right. And now I'm just hot gluing this on top of this roof, and the bottom of the star goes on the top of this top block. You see what I'm doing over here. Next, I'm taking Mod Podge. I wanted to make sure all this is sealed nicely, but I wanted to add one more thing. If you know me, if you know my channel, you know I don't use glitter. I use it rarely. And for this project, I thought it really needed something for the top, for the star and the top part where the nativity scene is. And I used a light, it was a white glitter with just a little bit of shiny. And also I used the silver one as well. And that represents like a stars on a night. I think it looks beautiful. And over here, it kind of looks like it was green, probably the way the light was shining, but the picture doesn't do it justice. I absolutely love this project. I think it turned out beautiful. I wouldn't change one thing about it. And I really hope you guys like it too. I know it's simple, but it means so much to me, and this is going to be in my home for a long time. Now, friends, let me tell you a little bit about this hop. Heidi Sonboul is the creator of this Friend Friday hop. She gathered many talented, amazing crafters, and each of us need to have in a description box link to the next person in a hop. So make sure to check out my description box, and that link will take you to the next person. While you're watching everyone's videos, make sure you leave a comment, because that is what is gonna put you into the giveaway. And the giveaway is a $300, $100 for each Target, Walmart, and Dollar Tree. And that is all you need to do. Just comment on each person's videos. So I want to wish you good luck, and I hope you enjoy everyone's videos. Now let's go on to the DIY number 2. For this, I'm taking these large craft sticks that came from Walmart. I took 7 of them, and then I made sure to flip them over. I wanted the wrong side, or actually the side that is not so pretty, to be up. And then I aligned them, and I took 1 more craft stick that I cut up to the size, and I hot glued on the top of all of these to keep them secure. That's going to be the only one for now. I'm going to add some more later. After that, I flipped it over, and then I took some pan lid that I had in my house, and then I created a circle with a pencil, and then I took scissors and I cut it out. You can use X-Acto knife or anything else that you have on hand. I used scissors, and it worked out pretty well. These are easy to cut. After that, I'm gluing 2 more craft sticks on the back just to keep it secure. Now I sanded the edges. And after that, we're going to go on to painting. If you want to create something like this with a real wood, you can go ahead and do it. This is just something I wanted to do and show you. You can do it with the craft sticks and still going to look beautiful. Now I'm using Beverly chalk paint in a color mineral, and I am kind of heavily dry brushing over, going over with the wood grain. And next I'm taking Beverly chalk paint in a color truffle to distress it. I especially wanted to distress the edges. I wanted to make sure those ends are very visible, and also I went over the whole circle distressing it. And I didn't show, I just took a little bit of white paint and I distressed it just a tiny bit somewhere around. And now I'm taking these clock hands that I got from Walmart for 99 cents or 95 cents. And I'm going to take only the smallest one. And since this wood is very soft, I was able to use small scissors to create a hole. And that's where I'm going to put my hand, clock hand. And then I realized that this clock hand is just a tiny bit longer. So I snipped off the end with my scissors, and now it's perfect. Next, I'm taking the stencil. I have no idea where it came from. It has snowflakes on it, and I decided that I'm going to use the simplest snowflake over here. And I'm using my Rust-Oleum chalk paint in a linen white color, and I am just dabbing it with a sponge. And I am not really good with stenciling things, so I was very worried how it's going to turn out. But at the end, it turned out really, really nice. I'm super happy with the way it turned out. Next, I am freehanding the word Merry Christmas on the top. This board is very forgiving. I was able to delete it many times. I was able to correct it as many times as I needed until I was satisfied. After I was done with lettering, I started writing numbers. So this, as you can see, will be the advent calendar. So I started with number 13, which is a middle number on the bottom. And then I try to space it out as best as I could all the way around. And you see me doing it over here. And again, I had to erase a couple of times just to make sure everything is aligned nicely. After that, I wanted to use my paint marker in a color white, but for some reason it didn't work out as well as I wanted to. So I tried to use some paint, dip it in a paint and try it that way. It didn't work out. So at the end, I took a very fine brush and I started dipping it in a paint and just slowly going over and writing my numbers. Heidi Sonboul is actually the one who does this often, and I always admire it, and I started doing it as well, and it's actually very calming and relaxing, and I like doing it. It took a little bit of time, I have to say, but if you put on a show or just relax, put on some music, you forget about what you're actually doing, you're just enjoying it. So you will see me over here in just a little bit. Not all the numbers are perfect, and I'm totally okay with it. If you want them to be perfect, you can use your Cricut to cut out numbers, or you can use Dollar Tree stickers or stencils, anything that you want. This is the way I want it. So now I am going over Merry Christmas words with this Sharpie. It is a silver color, and then I shaded a little bit with the white paint as well. Next, I decided this needed just a little bit of something, so I took these two Waverly chalk paints, one in a color moss and the other one in color celery, and I created a mini kind of a wine on the top. And friends, I absolutely love how this turned out. I had a vision how I wanted to turn out, and I think it turned out even better than this. I think down the road, I will probably make for next year another one with the real wood, and it's going to be way bigger. This year, we're about to move, so all my tools, or most of my tools, are actually put away. So I showed you a different way you can do it, and it was less expensive. I think it turned out beautiful, and we will definitely use it for this Christmas. For all of you that are new to my channel, that are coming from this hop, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. I hope you enjoyed watching my videos. I love creating beautiful things for my home on a budget. And if that's something that you like to do as well, just stick around and look around my channel and subscribe. I have so many great projects planned for this Christmas season. Also, if you're on a social media, make sure to look for me on Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook. I would love to connect with you. Now, I also wanted to remind you that I have new videos every Tuesday and every Friday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Unless there is a collaboration or a challenge going on, I'm going to let you know in my community page or on Instagram. And now the last DIY number 3. This is the easiest one, I think. I took these 2 wood rounds that came from Arteza, and then 2 wood dowels, and then I took this beautiful craft paper from Hobby Lobby. It is a musical theme, and then I took this metal sheet or aluminum sheet actually from Dollar Tree. First, I am measuring around 6 inches, and then I'm cutting off this craft paper. So it turned out to be in half, so I cut it in half. I want it to be a little bit wider than a wood round, that's why I measured it. And now I am going to create kind of like a triangle. You see me doing it over here, and I'm gonna cut it out. After I was done with that, I'm gonna start folding this triangle, starting from the top, and I'm gonna go back and forth. I'm gonna flip it from the front side to the back side, and I'm showing you over here. I'm sure you understand what I'm doing. I'm creating kind of a fan effect. Next, I'm taking my mini scissors, and I'm cutting a hole, actually punching a hole in the middle, just enough so my skewer can go through. And you see already this is going to represent a Christmas tree. I was very careful. I was spinning this skewer. I didn't want to push it through. I didn't want to rip the paper. So next thing, I'm going to just put a little bit of hot glue in a hole that is already in these wood rounds. and just attach this skewer. Next, I'm going on to the aluminum sheet. I'm cutting out a little bit smaller. I didn't really measure. I just did it optional. I kind of measured it, but it didn't matter. I cut it out, that piece that I had. Now I'm going to do the same thing, cutting out the triangle, and then I'm gonna fold it. Now, if you're doing this, be careful because this can cut you. I never cut myself using this. I was always careful. So it is not that easy to cut, but it can happen. So be very careful. I'm doing exactly the same thing what I did with the musical paper. So punching the hole, pushing my skewer through. This one is a little bit smaller than the musical one, and that's what I wanted. Now, after both of these were glued down, I took this white, light gray, and dark gray acrylic paint, and I started dabbing my brush on these paints, alternating, and then I started kind of galvanizing this aluminum sheet. After I was done with that, I took a little bit of brown acrylic paint on a sponge, and then I sponged it onto the especially edges because I wanted to make it look rusty. I cut out 2 different sizes of a star, and I'm going to use these 2 colors. So it is a gold and a copper metallic colors, and I am going to dab them onto these stars. The smaller star, I wanted it to be more gold, and then the other one I wanted it more copper, and I'm going to show you why, because they're going to go on 2 different trees. So I wanted that contrast. I wanted those stars to be visible. I'm hot gluing them on the top, and then next I'm taking first these kind of berries on a vine, I believe, 2 little picks, and I'm gonna kind of put them in a round position, and I'm gonna hot glue down around this wood round, on the top of the wood round, and then I'm gonna assemble it that way, and then I'm putting artificial, actually LED candle on that wood round. For the metallic one, I am taking these pearl picks, and then I'm doing exactly the same thing. And after that, this project is complete. This was very, very simple project. I like to include simple projects as well, so you can see how easy and inexpensive you can make your decor for your home. I really, really hope you guys enjoyed watching my video and watching me creating these projects. I want to hear from you which one of these was your favorite, and would you recreate any of these? If you like this video, as always, I would ask for you to give this video a thumbs up. That means a lot to me, and it definitely helps my channel. It shows YouTube that you like this type of videos, and please share it on your social media with your family and friends. Also, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. I would really, really love to have you. Thank you, Heidi, for hosting this. Thank you to all the amazing creators that participated in this hop. Don't forget to click on the link in the description box to go on to the next creators video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.